Talk with Lenora. Morning Talk. Morning Talk with Lenora.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Talk with Lenora. It is Wednesday, and no doctor's appointments, so I'm home today. Today, I would like to expel upon one of the myths about chronic illness, and one of those myths is that when you see chronic people with chronic illness enjoying themselves, that they must feel okay. You know, you just assume they look well, they're doing well, so I guess, but that's one of those myths about chronic illness. When an important occasion arises, people with chronic illness may they learn to put up with the symptoms of the illness, and I am one of those, including terrible pain. Some can try to enjoy themselves even with achiness, and we especially subject ourselves to the symptoms when you are having these great experiences and you're sharing time with people you love. You just kind of grin and bear it. I, for one, have done it many times. I remember back when I actually did vendors. I was a vendor for my jewelry by the cash. And one of my co-workers, she invited me to speak at her church as well as be a vendor. I have to tell you the honest truth, I felt terrible when the day arrived. But I promised her that I would do it. She had me on her poster and everything, and it was out away from where I live, so it was a bit of drive. And thank God my son decided to go with me and help me unload stuff and set stuff up. I spoke, I set up. I mean, I felt so bad. I felt so bad the next day I was in the hospital. And I was in the hospital for a couple of days. I promised her, and, that's one of the things that happens is, even for me, y'all know what I'm drinking, right? Even for me, you make plans, and you kind of I don't know if I kind of get kind of nervous about maybe if I'm going to feel good that day or not, especially when you promise people something. There was this another time when I had a friend that she also invited me to her church to be a vendor. And it was her event, and she was putting it all together. And I was very happy that she included me. That's always a big deal to me that people think of me to include me in their event. So the day came. I dressed up for it. I do that anyway, but I felt horrible. And that day, I didn't know, my children must have known I felt bad, but I promised my friend I was going to be there. So this day, two of my daughters and my son came, and they loaded stuff. My son had to go to work, but he came out and set the table for me, and he got the stuff out of the car, and then he went on to work. And two of my daughters, one daughter left, and one daughter actually stayed with me. And I mean, I sat down the whole time because I felt terrible. I was weak. I was everything. I was I had a cold, a flu. Ended up in the hospital 2 days later. And when I go in the hospital, I usually stay for a while. I had pneumonia. But I promised my friend, and I went. And I remember on my birthday last year, I wanted to celebrate it. For matter of fact, that day, for 7 days or a week before, I did this thing where I called it shenanigans. And I'm going to share, I did these different masks. So that's why today it's also appropriate because it is, I call this removing the mask of chronic illness. So to really tell you what it's really like. Well, anyway, my twin daughters and my third daughter, who's the youngest, my son wasn't here. Even my sister, we all went out to dinner. And my sister met, which is a surprise. It was great to see her. She showed up. It was a surprise for her to be there. So I knew my daughter was going to take up, but I didn't know my sister was going to show up. And it was great. It's always great getting together with your family. And I was so happy, but I felt bad. I felt bad. I got dressed up, and my daughter picked me up. We went to dinner, and, you know, I laughed. And actually later on, my sister said, I wonder why you was acting kind of strange. I mean, I pretended. The day continued. My daughters took me out, you know, not like, I mean, my daughter's in her 30s, so, you know, I just like hanging with them. So they took me, and one of my daughters at the time, she worked at a bar. So we went there just so we could say hey, and I stayed there for a while. My daughters were like my protectors because, I mean, I was smiling and everything, but I felt bad. When we walked, we were there for maybe half an hour, if we were there that long. And when I walked at the door, I had to immediately hit my inhaler because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe, and I just smiled and kept going. And they took me one more other place. We stopped there. I couldn't stay. I smiled and said, yeah, I'm ready to go. Well, I think I was home by 12. And that was like a Thursday. Friday, I was in my bed. I couldn't get out. I didn't eat. Only thing I did was get up and use the bathroom. Saturday morning, I was in ER. I was in the hospital for 20 days. I was real sick. But I just wanted to participate. So I get it. And I, as a person who suffers from a chronic illness, you know, there's this misconception like, you know, they're smiling, you know, please don't assume that a person who is smiling is not experiencing any pains or they're ache free, because you know they're just you just can't see what they're feeling physically. So that's a huge myth with people with chronic illness. You know, when anything you try to live with it, and in living with it, you know, you wear this mask. That, you know, this smiley mask that, hey, it's all good, because I personally have done it many times. And, you know, you try to take medications or whatever to pump you up, because, you know, they ain't nothing better than hanging with your girls. You know, your girls, you know, I have girlfriends that are my age that we can understand. We went to school together, and we kind of get it. And then I got a sister. And, you know, we got our inside jokes that, you know, because we really we raised our children together. So, you know, we got this kind of relationship. Then I got my daughters, who are my daughters, and then now they're like grown women. So we get together. We're like the Sex and the City girls or girlfriends, because, you know, we go shopping, and we're real generous with each other. So when I get a chance to be in the company of these people, or even my son, my grandson, my dad, my brother invited me to the Super Bowl party at his house. And I mean, it's just hanging with my family, my mom, and I don't, just like everybody else, just getting out and having a good time. So, you know, you're like, you don't feel good, you know, but you just put on your smile, you know. I mean, it's kind of like makeup, you know. You put on this makeup to hide blemishes or facial imperfections or lipstick, you know. You know, you do that. It's the same thing with chronic illness. You know, if you want to get in there and keep fighting, and, you know, if you want to get in there and live and try to enjoy your life, those are the things you do, you know. You go on YouTube and you make YouTube videos. You know, some days I really don't feel good. And, you know, I tell you. And if you watch me enough, you really could tell when I'm feeling good and when I'm like, whoa. I mean, my voice changes. I don't have that little get up and go. I'm not like feeling my best. But chronic means continuous. That is not going away. You still got it. It's just that there are times when you feel better and times when you don't. And I just think that's a misconception that, someone that has a chronic illness and you see them, I'm smiling, you see me out, you're like, no, I'm smiling, but you know what? My head hurt or my stomach hurt. I have to be choosy about what I eat. And, or, you know, I mean, I strut with a cane because it helps me to keep myself up sometimes when I don't feel strong. Then sometimes it's about balance. Then sometimes I actually could put that cane under my arm and walk. But there are times when, I want to wear my heels. Yeah, I still want to wear my heels. I don't wear high heels, but I still want to wear them. And sometimes just having my cane helps me walk in them. I mean, that's sad, I know. But, that's what you do to live. And those are the things that I do to do me, So it's just a mutual shout out to those like myself who suffer from chronic illness, chronic disease. I get it. You put your mask on and you get in a fight and you do what you got to do to get from point A to point B. So I just wanted to shout that out. See, I got on my string colors because, that's another thing. You help yourself feel good. I think it's cool outside. It was cool yesterday. I looked through the window, the wind is blowing. It looks appealing, but no. You go out there, you like, brr. So I'll look at it from the window. I may go check the mail just to see and if I need to, run an errand. But thank you all for watching. And remember to check out Tubebuddy because it is really a good tool. I'm telling you, when you find something that works, you stick with it. So you all have a great morning. And if God is willing, I will try to be back tomorrow. But if God is willing, I will be back because, He's the number one. He's the ish. Thank you again for watching. This is LENORA saying goodbye.
So y'all have a great day and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel and like it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Bye.